Okay, this is Sam from TikTok. So there's a car for $7,000. I want to sell my car worth 12. Can you explain that? Um, well, who are you selling your car to? It's if you say it's worth 12, then all right. We only get offers to find out what our car is worth. We don't use algorithm sites because that's worthless. An algorithm site is a site like Kelly's Blue Book. You punch in your year, make, model, and in 3 seconds it tells you your vehicle's worth $12,000. Right now, we have companies that bid against each other. And what you want to do is you want to go on your computer, go to CarMax.com, go to Driveway.com, go to Carvana.com, go to AutoNation.com, go to Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer.com, and go to Car Gurus. All of them will connect you to somebody or some major buyer who pays cash for cars immediately. Literally, quick inspection, drop your check, and you're on to you literally, it's that simple. We are no longer at the mercy of private owners who are going to come by and look at our car and no one buy it and talk us down. There are extremely competitive buyers in the market that I've been telling people about since 2021 when we were cashing out. I was big on telling you guys during 2021 to 2023, during that whole pandemic run, cash out now, because the values of those vehicles will never see them again. So there are some people who cashed out, but that was also the beginning of showing people that you can sell to what is called institutional car buyers. And that is what stopped people from trading their cars. There are people who have learned from me, and maybe other people have mentioned this, that will never trade a car again because you're not getting the money that it's worth. So you go to those 6 companies, Sam, it should take you no more than 20 minutes. They're going to give you their best cash offers. And then you can sell to them and you can go buy something else. But what I want you to get in the habit of doing, everybody, is separating your transactions. What does that mean? Who you sell your car to is different than who you buy a car from. And you need to maximize each transaction. And you're never going to do that mixing all your transactions together, which is what most people do. They go into a dealer and they say, hey, I want to buy a car from you, and I want to trade my car into you, and I need a loan. 3 transactions. We don't do that. We separate them and we bid each one out using online tools. And that's how we get the prices we get. And that's how we pay less than everyone else. Okay. So the biggest thing, first thing, is go to those 6 websites: CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, KBB, Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation. And all of you who want to find out what your car is really worth, you go to these 6 websites, get your 6 offers, and then you'll find out what your car is really worth. We do not depend on any dealer to tell us what our car is worth at all. Okay? Shoot the next question up, Dolan. And you guys can continue to type your questions. We're bringing them in from all platforms. This is Terrell Taylor. By the way, everything that I'm talking to you guys about is out of my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home: 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Some of you may have it. If you have it, shout out to those who have it, and shout out to those who've used it to actually pay less than everyone else. And make sure I want you to be like Tiffany. Send me your deals. Send me your deals. When you get your cars, I want you to actually send me the results. Look, this is, oh no, that's not Tiffany. That's someone else who used the book. Look, used the book, got $175 a month less than her first quotes before she used the book. So send me, but you can get a copy of this book immediately for 75% off. It's normally $97. Go to my TikTok bio. You won't leave the broadcast, and you can have the entire blueprint. If you don't want to try to remember everything I'll be teaching you over the next hour, you can have the blueprint. You won't pay the $75. You'll get the 75% off. And we also have a comment pinned in the comment section for you guys on YouTube and on Facebook, and on Instagram. You go to my bio. So anyway, go get it, because it's only for 30 minutes. After the timer goes off, it's $97. It's still worth every penny. You can Google it. 5-star book. You can see all the people who rated it, all the people who's using it. This isn't a test. to do, but I want you to get it at 75% off. It's better to pay $24 than $97. Okay, Terrell Taylor. So you said, Terrell Taylor on YouTube said, I have $35,000 to $40,000 to buy a truck with. Should I buy a used or a late model new, 2022 to 24? So whenever we're considering a late model used car, this is a model like Terrell said that is 1 to 2 years old. Let me tell you why I don't like shopping for those first. I like to shop for a new price first. Whenever you are buying 1 or 2 year old used vehicles, you have to realize something. How do dealers get used cars? Trade, or they get them off lease, they buy them. When you have not waited 3 years, you're not going to see a lot of used vehicles in that option because most people don't buy a vehicle and then trade it in 2 years. So you're not going to see a lot of 1 and 2 year old used vehicles. I don't like that because when there's not a lot of a vehicle, the people who have that vehicle get to set very high prices that we have nothing to compare it to. And that's a recipe for losing and overpaying. I've had people come to me who are looking like you, and what I say is, I say, okay, shop for a new one first. I'm gonna tell you why. When you shop for a new one first, you get to see what the market value is. So take Sean. I'm showing Sean. Some of you have seen Sean. He got an F-150 Lightning XLT, $73,000 vehicle. Using what we teach and getting bids from home, using the Cars from Home system, he saved $21,000 on a new one. That was his best offer. He got multiple offers because we always get at least 5. So his best offer, he saves $21,000. If he had gone to look for a 1 or 2 year old one of this, he would have never known that the new ones he can save $20,000 off of if he shops right. Now, some vehicles, it might be $7,000 off, $10,000 off, $5,000 off. The point is, until you know what the new market is for a vehicle, you can't shop a 1 or 2 year old one. Because what happens if you shop a 1 year old version of what Sean got and he goes and he pays, he pays 65 for it because he thinks, or let's say 60. Let's say 60. A brand new one, 73. Someone else is charging 60. All right, it's 2 years old. Let me get that one. Not 15 grand off. Problem is, he just overpaid for a vehicle because he could have got a new one for less than he got that 1 or 2 year old one. That's why the recent shoppers, anytime you guys are shopping 1 or 2 year old, you have to shop new first to find out what the market is. Now, in my book, I have my strategies for shopping new online and shopping pre-owned. It's totally different. Pre-owned, you want to go to all the marketplaces. If a vehicle's not on a marketplace, y'all, don't shop. Don't look at it. What does that mean? You ever walk into a used car dealer and you see a used car, but there's no price on it? Type a $ if you've ever experienced this. If you've ever looked at a deal, you've been in a dealership, you see they have a used car, there's no price on it. Type a $ if you've experienced that. Okay, I see you, Terrell. Okay, perfect. I see you, Don Dickey. Okay, perfect. All right, we have enough people. All right, Makeover Forever Studios. I see you. Okay, Todd, May, I see you. So this is a common thing. When you go and look at that vehicle, the most dangerous thing to do, I see you, Tony, is to negotiate on a car with no price because they can make the price up. When a car is on a marketplace like cars.com, carfax.com, carguru.com, carvana.com, carmax.com, these are all the marketplaces we shop for used cars at once. It's like a big round robin for us. This is how I want you to shop. Now you must be competitive or no one's coming. Now there's some people who try to pull a tactic. They'll list a car for 20. They have no intentions on selling it for 20. But they want you to come in and then they'll charge you more, fees, makeup fees and all of that stuff. That's why we always call beforehand. But we know the power is online. The competition is online. So when you're looking, Terrell, you're either deciding, all right, I'm either going to look for a new vehicle, find out what the market price is for the vehicle I'm looking for and how much I can save. What's my best offer? You need to get at least 5 offers. I'm telling you, it's going to be big differences. You have to prove this to yourself. Call around. If you want to do it manually, you don't have my book, do it manually, call around, speak to sales managers. You are going to see it's going to be a $5,000 to $10,000 difference minimum between all of these dealers' offers, minimum. And so then you want to look at the pre-owned options. Then you look at the pre-owned options. And the pre-owned options will tell you what the market is. And so this is only for you who are looking at recent model cars. If you're not looking at 1 or 2 year old pre-owned, this doesn't matter. But those people have a little bit more budget, and that's okay. That's okay. But when you have a little bit more budget where you can look at a 1 or 2 year old pre-owned car, that means you have a little bit more money to lose if you make a bad decision. So that's what you want to consider, Terrell. Shop for the new ones first, depending on what your budget is, and then look at the pre-owned market and say, all right, where's the pre-owned market? But that 1 or 2 year old, you're not going to have a lot. Until that 3 year cycle comes and dealers can start buying those vehicles back off lease, you're not going to see a lot of vehicles. That's why I don't play in that 1 or 2 year old zone. It's just a dangerous zone to play in. Dealers know, we're the only ones. Hey, we the only one that got this car within 50 miles. Let's charge this for it. And then they depend on someone who doesn't know the market to come in, pay for it, and you can literally overpay by 10, 20 grand and you won't realize it until, a couple years later. Okay, great question though. Great question, Terrell. Go ahead, shoot the next one up, Dolan. Type your questions, y'all. We're going to get through as many as we possibly can in an hour. I see a lot of questions coming in. Let me try to speed it up. All right, this is Abigail from Instagram. How do I shop for cars and take test drives without feeling like I'm wasting their time? I'm nervous. Okay, first thing to realize, Abigail, you're a very considerate person. God bless you for that. You're about to spend 5 figures on a vehicle. Some of you 6 figures. I love the courtesy, but we are the prize. When you're shopping the way I want you to shop, some of you, this is your first time here. You don't even know, hey, who is this guy talking? I spent 14 years in the car business. 5 years with Mercedes, 5 years General Motors. I've been helping people buy cars and get below market deals since 2019, education-wise. I love it, but you deserve the experience. If you were walking into the mall to spend 15 grand, let's just call it 15 grand. How would you want to be treated? Like royalty, right? Right? So, but I'm going to answer your question, but I need your mindset. A lot of what we're discussing is going to be the right mindset. You are the prize. That's why I don't want you going to dealers begging for discounts anymore. I want you sitting at home making dealers bid. This is how we do test drives on new cars and leases. New cars and leases. This is how we do test drives. I have it in my book because it's that serious. You're either going to have a great test drive or you're going to have a horrible test drive experience. We call and we ask the dealer, who's the most experienced person there? Who does everybody like? Who's the person that, has been there for a long time, just has a great reputation? Oh, that's John. John is just, he's been here 20 years. Everybody loves him. Okay, can I speak to John? Hey, John, my name's Deshone. I'm interested in the Honda Pilot. I just like to test drive it. I'm in the process of deciding what I want. And, do you have this particular model? You have one there that I could test drive? John, because we asked for the best person, we're typically going to get somebody who is not going to lie, usually. Not a guarantee, but taking these steps, I know these guys. I've been in this dealership. I know most dealerships have one person there who has a good reputation and who cares about that reputation. If you're enjoying this content, hit the like button, y'all. And Keith, y'all killing the likes on TikTok. Shout out to everybody who's hitting the likes on TikTok, to double tapping the screen. Appreciate y'all. And shout out to everybody who hits the like button. When we get there, we meet with John. We test drive. John, thank you so much. Can I have your card? I'll leave you my information. And if this is the vehicle I want, I'll be in touch with you. Perfect. Oh, Deshone, we don't sit down? We don't think, no, we never sit down. I'm telling you that there are things you must unlearn about the shopping process if you're going to win. And what does winning look like? Getting the most money off in the least amount of time. There's no leverage that you have when you sit down and try to negotiate with a car salesman. Every single dealer around you that wants to compete for your business, you can't talk to them while you're sitting in one dealer talking to a car salesman. That's why we don't do it. We get a card. Thank you so much. Listen, if this is the one for me, I'm going to give you a call. Simple. Pressure's off. There's no pressure in our system. You can't pressure us. That's what I want you doing. New cars, leases, that's how you test drive. 20 minutes, you're in and out. And I'm a car salesman at heart because that's what I am by profession. I would never develop a system that would allow you to waste car salesmen's time. I just wouldn't do it. I developed a system that when our people go get cars, look at Ansley. When our people go get cars, Ansley just got his lease, 1% lease, $58,000 Infiniti. Look, started the process Saturday, accept the deal Monday, all by email. $58,000 car, he's paying $554 a month, no down payment. We have tons of these. None of these people spent, look at Jared, lease like a boss, $569 a month down to $520, Volkswagen Tiguan, no money out of pocket. Let's go to a purchase. Pierre, pre-owned car purchase, got his 2022 Mazda, got a 20% discount off the original MSRP. This is 30 minutes. We are not spending more than 30 minutes in dealerships. Who doesn't want to spend more time in dealerships? Type me if you're like Deshone. I don't want to be in dealerships that long. You thought you had to be in dealers to save the big money, right? You thought you had to be in dealers to save the big money. I'm showing you as someone who pays less than everyone and who teaches people to pay less than everyone. Look, Kimberly, $20,000 off a Maserati, shopping from home. Because when you can talk to more people at once, the discounts fly off. And you see that all these dealers want to compete. So what you want to do, the best thing you can do to not waste people's time, Abigail, is to shop from home the right way. Because when you shop from home the right way, you realize it's only a few things you need to be in the dealership for. That's your test drive. I just told you how to set it up. With used cars, we do it at the end. But we're only there for a second. In fact, when you go to pick up your car, they're going to tell you, thank you. This was one of the most easiest deals I ever made in my life. Because you came in, you emailed us, you knew what you wanted, you gave us the information we needed, we made you an offer, you knew what you were decisive. We have all these scripts. By the way, in my book, I have all the email scripts. You don't have to even think about what you're going to say. It's literally copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste when we're shopping for new cars and leases. With used cars, before I go to the next question, I want to hit on the used car process. Used cars, we must test drive at the end. We can't test drive used cars over here and then go and buy another used car over here. So what we do when we narrow our choices down on all these marketplaces to our top 5 favorite vehicles, we need to verify that there's no bogus fees. When I was shopping for my Infiniti truck, I narrowed it down to 4 vehicles. But I'm going to tell you something that's the most, who's bought a used car in their life? Type the letter U. I need you guys to program what I'm about to say into your brain cells for the rest of your life. Type the letter U if you bought a used car or if you plan on buying a used car one day. Type the letter U. All right, I see you, Michael, Don Dickey, okay, Terrell, I see you, Blizzy, Tony, okay, Lori, I see you, Victoria. Anybody who plans on this, let me tell you how. Okay, let me tell you how. All right. See, when I'm about to reveal big stuff, I got to kind of see how I want to say it. The marketplaces that we go to look at used cars on, They're never going to tell us what a great price is. And I'm going to tell you why. The only thing that matters, let's say we're looking at 4 white Honda Accords. 4, they're all white. These are the cars we want. We've narrowed it down. We're looking at 4. They all got similar miles, and they're asking price is $20,000. The marketplace is going to tell you what they think a good deal is based on algorithms. Based on all the vehicles listed on the market, this is a good deal. This is a bad deal. Here's what matters. How much was the original price of each vehicle? Why is this the only important thing? Because if we're looking at 4 white Honda Accords, but one of them was $35,000 when it was new, one of them was $39,000 when it was new, has a sport package, some special technology. One was $31,000 when it was new, one was $29,000 when it was new. What's the best value? What's the best value? You see how we clearly just went from, wow, all of these vehicles look the same, similar price, similar asking price. But once we found out, wait a minute, this one right here was $38,000 new. This one here has the cameras in it all around and the self-driving package, and it has the same asking price, or it's maybe $1,000 more. This is what I call the true value discount. The true value discount. And let me tell you why the marketplaces will never tell you this. Because if they advertise the true value discount, someone has to be at the bottom. In other words, when you're looking at Honda Accords, if you could go right to the true value, who's giving me the biggest discount off the original MSRP? That means the car at the bottom, they might be giving you no discount off the MSRP. We saw that during the pandemic. It was people selling, who remembers people selling Toyota Camrys, 3-year-old Toyota Camrys for the same price as they were when they were new? There was some deal, everyone wasn't. I know a couple dealers, I know a couple general managers who run dealerships who are ethical. And they said, look, I don't care what the market does. I can't sell a used vehicle for the same price it was when it was new. I'm not doing that. Because when that customer comes back in 3 years to deal with me, I'm going to have to help them again. And if I bury them in their car, then I'm not going to be able to help them. But there were plenty of people who was. The true value discount is all that matters, which means we have to know what the car was new. We have to find the Maroni label. We have to go on the Carfax. We have to go to where the window sticker is and get the original price. And then we'll clearly see, oh, that's the best used car. And no one else shops like that. No one else shops like that. If y'all get that, type dollar signs. If you get that, what I just said, type dollar signs. That is what is important, not what they tell you is a good deal. So going back to me, when I got my Infiniti truck, 4 vehicles, all in a similar price range, all white. They were between $1,800 difference from each other, similar miles. But once I found out that one was 46,000 new, one was 48,000 new, one was 52,000, and the one I ended up getting was 54,000. That separated it. The one that was 54,000 new, they were giving me a 42% discount asking price. These are things that help you cut through the mess, the smoke and mirrors of the car business. In order for you to win and pay less than everyone else, you have to cut through the smoke and mirrors. That's what I'm great at showing you because I was in the business. So these are the things that, again, if you say, Deshone, I need the whole blueprint. I need to give me the step-by-step. I'm leasing, used cars, high mileage, new cars. Give it to me step-by-step. That is my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It'll be in your inbox in literally 5 minutes, and you get yours for 75% off. Support yourself and support your family by getting your copy. Go to my YouTube comments. We have a link right there pinned for you guys. We have a link in the Facebook comments. Get your book for 75% off for the next 30 minutes. You'll see a timer on the page. Now, if you're on TikTok, click that picture of me and go to that link in my TikTok bio and click the one that says 75% off to activate the 75% off link. Get your book so that you never have to wonder about this. Now, we're going to continue, but I just know as we answer more questions, some of you are going to forget that. What we just went over in the last 10 minutes, this next question, you're going to forget all of that. All right? Now, Dennis Gamister from Instagram, on a lease agreement, does the deal use the MSRP or the discounted price? So when we're shopping for leases, this is what we do. We get all our offers this is how we construct our offers. If you've ever looked on these commercials and you saw, well, Deshone, when I look at leases, though, it seems like, one, they limit me on miles. And then I also see that they want a bunch of money up front. You are correct. But they only limit you on miles according to the miles you told them you were going to drive. They don't pick the miles for you. We select the miles. And what ends up happening is people will, because they typically don't know how to shop, they're negotiating. They'll say, all right, well, my payment's $400. That's my budget. I drive more than 10,000 miles a year, but I guess I'll just take the 10. Instead of paying $20 more to get 12, they'll take the 10, and then they'll say something like, if I go over, I'll just buy it. Horrible idea. Absolutely catastrophic idea. Or if I go over, they blame the lease. They literally will get the penalty, get the bill for the 6,000 extra miles that they used, and they're charging them 25 cents a mile now, and say, man, this is why I don't want to lease, because they limit me on my miles. No, they didn't. To save $20 a month, you pick the lower miles. You can customize leases up to 15,000 miles if you want, 18,000 miles. Look at Jen. Jen just got her lease on her Honda. Hold on, where's Jen's lease? She got an 18,000 mile a year lease. Now, the way we shop is 12,000 miles per year, only first month's payment due at signing, and we shop it taxes and fees in the payment. Jen, her best offer on her Honda CR-V hybrid, which is one of the most popular hybrid crossovers in the market, she got $512 a month, 12,000 miles. That's a 1.3 lease. We'll talk about the 1% rule for great lease deals and the 1.5% for overpaying. She gets 1.3. She bumps it up to 18,000 miles per year. But look how much more, y'all. $50. So for $50 more a month, she, instead of driving 12,000 miles, she gets to drive 18,000 miles. And she gets to drive as much as she needs to for $50. Versus her saying, you know, I'm going to take the 12 knowing I don't drive 12, and then I'm going to get penalties and, again, blame the lease. The lease is custom. And the first time I learned about high mileage leases was when I was working at Hyundai. I was a manager at Hyundai for a short period of time. It was a highway dealer. The guy ended up going to jail. It was typical, like, you know, I've worked in some dealers, some phenomenal dealers, but this one was like, if you ever could imagine the prototypical highway scam dealership, I mean, this was it. So I was only there for 6 weeks, but I was a manager, and what I saw was I was taking care of this guy's lease who was just finished with it. He had 72,000 miles on it, and I went out there and I said, wait, you leased this? 72,000 miles? He said, yeah, I always lease now. He said, I used to come in every time I bought a car, my negative equity was ridiculous, $15,000, $10,000. I had to keep writing these big checks. And I just said, you know, let me switch to leasing. A customer taught me about high mileage leasing. That's why when I say car salesmen aren't trained, they're not trained. We learn things by intuitiveness and curiosity, and you know, we're not trained on finance and insurance and leases versus buying, none of that. You know, so anyway, I said, wow. And so I looked at his payment. This guy is only paying like $175 more a month, not even, to drive 25,000 miles a year. So if a normal Hyundai lease was $299, he's paying $450, $475, and he's driving 25,000 miles a year. Boom, drops it off, Boom. No negative equity, none of the trash that most high mileage drivers are dealing with. So when we are shopping for a lease, we have to shop with our template. Whenever you're getting your lease quotes, it's 12,000 miles a year, first month's payment only due at signing, taxes and fees in the payment. Assume tier 1. That's what we blast out. In my book, I have something called the 25 to 5 strategy. We connect with 25 dealers online. You use my email scripts, copy and paste. We're going to get 5 offers. This will take you. You saw Ansley. He said, I started it Saturday. By Monday, I accepted a deal. This doesn't matter. This is a 24, 48-hour turnaround to start getting offers on these vehicles. Now, once we're looking at offers, we take the MSRP. We take the monthly payment. We divide it into the MSRP. So let's just say we're shopping for a vehicle. It's $40,000. One of our offers is $400 a month. $400 a month. No money due at signing, just $400. We drive off. We divide that into the MSRP, not the selling price, the MSRP. So now we divide that into 40,000. We can see and we multiply by 100. That's a 1% lease. The 1% lease rule has been around for the last 20, 30 years. If you could lease a vehicle and the offers is under 1% of the MSRP, it's a steal. Great value. Because a $40,000 vehicle with no money down to buy would cost probably $800 a month on a 5-year loan. So it's incredible value. It's a steal. You don't have to worry, am I overpaying? Nowhere near. You're still in the vehicle. And we have some people who shop from home using the car. If you're Deshone, do those deals really exist? If you're on YouTube or Facebook, you can see right now. Look, Greg got a 1% lease on his Kia EV6 Win, $527 a month, $56,000 vehicle. Look, Zafrina, $579 a month, $65,000 vehicle. Ansley, you saw Ansley's Infinity. Rosalie's Infinity truck. Right here. Look, it's paying $592 a month, $59,000 vehicle. 1% lease deals are out here when you know how to shop. Now, that's a steal. That doesn't mean that's the best. That doesn't mean, if I can't get a 1% deal. In order to get a 1% deal, you have to not just shop. You need major support from the manufacturer. The lease program has to be good. The rebates have to be good. The residual value have to be good. The money factor, which is the interest rate, have to be good. There's a lease program that no dealer can control. So when we get these offers, that's how we're judging them. Divide the monthly payment into the MSRP. In my book, I have a calculator that I created where we put all our offers into it, and then it spits out what we call counter offers. So we get 5 offers, 7 offers. We put them all into this calculator I created. Again, this is the best $24. If you get there for $24 before that 30-minute timer and you get your copy, it'll be the best $24 you ever spent. I hold myself accountable to that. You can Google the book and read the reviews. There's software that we created that that's how you're judging your leases. You're looking and you're comparing to the 1% rule. Now, when you get to 1.5%, we can't make those deals. We're paying too much for a vehicle that we're giving back. We have to see, there was no indicator before I created the 1.5% rule. As much as I love educating people on leases, the only people who should be leasing is if you're not keeping your cars 8 years. All of you long-term people who you keep your cars more than 8 years, don't think about leasing at all. You should be shopping for below market purchases. But if you're not keeping your cars 8 years, you're losing thousands of dollars not leasing cars. Depreciation is where you lose. Resale value is where you lose. So the 1% rule is what our anchor is, but 1.2 is great value. 1.3, great value. 1.4, good value. 1.5, good value. Anything over 1.5, now we're paying too much for a vehicle that we're giving back. So that's how we're judging. That's how we're judging and comparing our lease offers. And with the calculators that are in my book, you can literally do this in seconds. This stuff, these mathematical things that used to be complex, even hard for me to explain, when you're using the stuff in my book and you're seeing, wait, There's calculators I can do this. Boom, boom. Why don't these calculators exist on Google? Because anything that makes dealers compete, they're not going to make for you. They'll make stuff for you that allows you to see more and do this and make it easier and faster and connect to get a loan quick. But competition, any tools that create competition, they're not going to make those for you, because that's where the real money comes off when you make dealers compete. Okay, so you want your copy of Cars from Home, 7 Steps of Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Click the picture of me on Instagram or TikTok. It's going to take you to my bio. You won't leave the broadcast. Click that link and then click the button that activates the 75% off, and you'll have 30 minutes. Once the timer goes to 0, the $97 price is what you have to pay if you want it. It's up to you, but $24 is much better than $97. $97 is still a great price. I have no doubt that you guys would write me, especially the more you use this. 1, 2 cars, 3 cars. You get one lease this year, a used car next year, a new car in about 4 years. And Deshone, what about when websites change? What about, this is an online system. Websites go out of business. Vroom went out of business. They were in my book. We used to get bids from them to sell cars to them. When we were shopping for used cars, they were in my multiple marketplace strategy. They went out of business. I went right into the master file, updated the 9,000 people that had a book. It was probably like 2,000, 3,000 at that particular time. And the next time people opened the book file, there was no room. That's why the book is digital. That's one of the reasons. You'll see the other reasons is I have scripts that I link you to. I have PDFs I link you to. Videos I link you to. I couldn't do this with a real physical book. So again, in the YouTube comments, in the Facebook comments, we have a link for you guys to get your book at 75% off for 30 minutes and use it. All right, Dolan, shoot the next one in, brother. Let's go. How old of a used car should a person buy? That's based on budget. I like to start with, when we open those marketplaces, Tony, you want to start with the most recent cars. The first thing you're doing when you open up the marketplaces, y'all, first of all, we're creating accounts. Out of all those marketplaces I named, 6 or 7 of them, we use 8. We use eBay Motors, we use Carfax.com, we use Cars.com, Autotrader.com, CarGurus.com, Carvana, CarMax, Driveway, and that's 8. 7 of those, or 6, allow us to create an account. Why is it important to create an account? So that every single new car that matches our criteria, as soon as it's listed, we get a notification. The people who have that notification on, most of them don't know how to assess the market like I'm showing you. So even if they get a notification that the car was just posted, they're not going to have the information to take advantage of it. They're going to hesitate. What we do is, the first thing we do after we create our account is we're now assessing the market. Where's the low prices? Where's the high prices? And I'll usually go 3 years back, sometimes 4 years back, and let's assess the market. Now, I have another calculator in the, matter of fact, let me show this to you guys. I have another calculator. It's called the Perfect Budget Calculator. The Perfect Budget Calculator. What this does, you guys can't see this on YouTube, but you can see it on you can't see this on TikTok. But if you go over to YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, you'll be able to see what I'm sharing right now. Now, what often happens is, let me share this. Hang on. Boom. Okay. So now what often happens is, a lot of you will say, I could put down $2,000, but, if I don't have to, then I won't. Or, if you get a car and you pay $15,000, if you pay $500 a month for 5 years, that's a lower price you paid than paying $500 a month for 6 years. So ways to manipulate our budget is to shop within our budget for a shorter loan. This is all stuff where I said, okay, people don't know they need to be doing this. So let's make a tool that does it for them. And this is, you get access to this when you get your copy of Cars from Home, my book. So let's say we do something called an equity assessment. Everybody who has a car, remember I was mentioning a little while ago, we go to these websites, Driveway, Room, or all these, and we find out what our car is worth. Let's say you're like, man, okay, if I sell my car to CarMax, I'm actually going to have $3,200 of equity. All right, so when I sell, I'm going to put that into my budget. All right, now max, my down payment, max I could comfortably do is $1,500. That's max. Now, we use the average interest rate, and in my book, I give you a link to see what the average interest rate is at the particular time you're going to be shopping. Let's just say it's 6.9. Now, we enter a comfortable monthly payment. Let's say you're like, all right, I don't want to go any more than $425 a month for 6 years. That's my max. You enter your state so we can pull the taxes and we can pull the fees. New Jersey, calculate budget goals. Now it's going to ask you a comfortable monthly payment on a 5-year loan. You might say, all right, same thing. I still don't want to go over 425 no matter what. Perfect. What this does is create multiple goals. And it creates multiple goals. It creates a starting point. Now, if you find a car at this price, $18,776 or less, you can do a 5-year loan, use none of your equity, so this will go in your bank, and use none of your down payment. Now, next goal may be, okay, $22,000 or less. 6-year loan, no equity, no down payment. So the first two goals are no money down goals. If I find a car anywhere in these price ranges, I can do these deals, no money down. Now, this is one where I use my equity, but no down payment. Goal number 4, I use my equity for a 6-year loan, no down payment. Now, goal number 5. Now you can see the price of the car is getting higher. Use equity, use my use equity and down payment, but it's 5-year loan. And then here is your max budget. Your max budget, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with if you find a vehicle that, once you use this and you find the best price vehicle, as long as you are under this number, you are fine. The problem is when you go over that number. The problem is when you go over budget. All of these goals are your budget. So when I got my Infiniti truck, I got my goal out. It was my fourth goal. Now, this is how you make sure when you go out to shop, and look at the top. What does it say? You select your state determines the sales tax, will factor it in, give you precise figures. Now, you'll notice, what about the fees, Deshone? Don't all these cars charge fees? We've already factored in the taxes, and we've added $1,000 for fees. What is $1,000? The documentation fee and the motor vehicle fees. It's all in there. So you can go out and know that's my max budget. I cannot buy a vehicle, make a deal on a vehicle where my purchase price is more than $26,729. That's the perfect budget calculator. So there are certain things that I had to create. No one does them. Everything that I was referring you guys to, all the websites, I was doing this, and there was some things where I couldn't refer you to anything because it doesn't exist. We had to build it. So this is how we make sure we are shopping, whether it be for new cars, used cars, below our budget. And that's not how you make, but here's the thing. I need you, before we go to the next question, I need you to understand something. That doesn't make sure you pay below market price. You have to combine this with getting bids, because you can be within your budget and pay over market value. There's 3 types of prices you can pay for a car, whether it's a new car, used car, or lease. Did you pay market value? That's what everyone's paying. Average. Did you pay over market value? Our only deals we make are below market value. And the way that happens is through bidding and creating a marketplace around you where all these people are competing for your business. That is how you combine that with the budget. This will keep you below your budget, but it does not guarantee. If I gave this to you, all of you would be like, this is great. I'm never going to go over my budget again. But it does not, until you combine that with getting bids for whatever you're looking for, you still run the risk of overpaying, even if you're under budget. Okay? Clear? Type $ if you're all clear before we move to the next question. And there's no way for us to do this manually. If there was a way that you could do this manually, trust me, I would have told y'all to saw me make a video about it all day on my social media. There was just no way. We had to build software. And you know, in my book, you guys will have access to at least 5 calculators for counter offers for new cars, true value discounts when you put the new price you put the original new price of the used car deal, whatever used car you're buying, you put the new car price in, and then you put in the asking price, and it tells you the true value discount, perfect budget calculator. We have at least 5 softwares that I've custom built, and you know, to make sure you guys get great value. So again, you know, I didn't want to be the person who said, you know, you guys know, there's plenty of people who be like, man, the value I'm giving you guys, I'm gonna charge $2.99 for the book, whatever. The people who pay, they'll save the money. And the people who pay, there'll be some people, because some people are gonna pay, they just see value. Poor people look at cost. Wealthy people look at value. People who are into financial literacy they don't ask themselves, how much does that cost? They ask themselves, what's the value I'm getting from that? And I could have said, well, you know what? I'm going to help you pay less than everyone on new cars, used cars, leases. We'll do $200, $300 for the book. And I only want to sell it to 1% or 5% of the pie. But at the end of the day, my mission is to help as many people want to be helped. And so that's why I said, okay, $97. But even our welcome offer, you got a chance to get it for $24 if you get there before the 30 minutes is up. Okay? YouTube link, get your copy. And make sure you save the support email, guys. If you see it scrolling across the screen. If, for instance, you don't get your book in 5-10 minutes, it's usually because you typed your email wrong. Reach out to my support team. They'll get you the book immediately. And soon as you pay, go to TikTok. Look, y'all see the links. Go to my bio on YouTube and Instagram. Get your copy. And as soon as you pay your $24, there's going to be a page that says screenshot this page. Right on that page, you can access your book. I want you to have the book immediately, but I also, in case you know, some of you type wrong, big thing, you know, we fat finger stuff. I want you to have the support email so that you can reach out to my team so we can make sure that book is in your inbox so you can use it and start saving money and building confidence. Okay, Dolan, next question, man. Let's keep it rolling. Okay, there's something about Mary on Instagram. I bought a car as is, and in less than a month, motor lock, can I sue for selling me a lemon? I'm not a lemon law attorney, but that is not what a lemon law case is based off of, in my understanding. Lemon law case is based on you buying a vehicle and the same thing continuing to go wrong at least 3 times. You know, that's a general overview of, you know, what the lemon law process is. And if y'all are enjoying the broadcast on TikTok, can y'all just double tap the screen and keep running those likes up? Every time y'all do that, y'all help TikTok bring more people here, and I appreciate it. If you're going to spend some time with us and, you know, every time just you hear something you like and you're like, man, we got to share this. Oh, and shout out to Madhu for sharing. Here's the thing. I made a video about this the other day because a friend of mine got a used vehicle and the transmission went out on him in about a month. So it wasn't the engine. But when you buy a vehicle as is, it's very tough for you to have any recourse, anything that you can do, because you're signing a contract that specifically says as is. It's very tough. What I would do if I was you, because the damage is done. I just find out what it would cost me to put a used engine in the vehicle, rebuilt in a used engine. Salvage yard. You need to, and especially if you're buying cars that you're paying cash and you're buying as is cars. These are probably cars that are under 10 grand, 12 grand. You need a mechanic. See, because that's a strategy. There is a great strategy called buying inexpensive cars and having a local mechanic so you could do what's right. Oftentimes you could drive those cars for a year or two and sometimes sell them for what you got for them because you've outlived the depreciation. Those cars are not depreciating as much unless you overpay for them. If you overpay for it, then it's going to drop because you overpaid for it. But if you pay a great price on some of these vehicles, you can oftentimes win with this, but it requires skills. One of the skills is, how do I avoid engine issues, transmission issues? So a couple things for those of you who may be going this route. You need to narrow your search down thoroughly based on title history, service records, accident history. That oftentimes you'll see, if I typed in right now 2018 Subaru Outback longevity. That's one of the things we do. It's in the 4th step of my book. Before we get prices on anything, we do a quick 5-minute search to make sure these aren't bad cars. There are bad cars out there, but there's data that shows us. If I type that in, it'll tell, okay, these vehicles are known for lasting 100,000 to 300,000 miles, depending on how they're maintained. That means you could have a quality vehicle, but if it wasn't maintained correctly by the first owner or owners, it's going to break down. The life cycle is cut short. These are preventable mistakes by simply checking Google. Now, we narrow these things down based on title history, service records, accident history. Once we do that, I don't mind buying a 10-year-old. I bought a car that was it's my around the city car. I drive it probably 200 miles a month. I bought it from a owner in South Orange. He was a 98-year-old man. He's had it for 10 years and he knew everything about it. He leased it for 3 years, then he bought it. So he's really had the car for its entire life cycle. That's what you want because you're able to look and see the service records. I don't mind. We have to take the risk off of ourselves, and the risk off of ourselves with used cars to prevent ourselves from buying these used cars that are breaking down on people and they're always in the shop and, they're dying on the road and you got to keep the tow truck on speed dial. It's simply a matter of checking to see the reliability records of the car, which is easily accessible on Google, the way I just said, and then making sure the one we get was actually maintained correctly. And that's going to give us the best chance of having a great experience. These are the steps we must take. But in your particular case, there's probably, I don't think you have a case. You can certainly reach out to a lemon law attorney. I don't think you have a case at all. I think because it's buyer beware with cars. It's buyer beware. That means it's on you. If something goes wrong, it's on you. And so what I would do is I would find a local mechanic that I trust, that everyone loves in the neighborhood, and I've been there for 10 years, 20 years. And I would say, listen, can you find out what it would cost me to put another engine in this vehicle? My father did this on his GMC Envoy about 6 years ago. It was a 2008 Envoy. The engine went out on him. He put a new engine in the vehicle. One of the best $2,000 he ever spent, $2,000 or $2,500, whatever it cost him. They put a new engine in that vehicle. He still has it. He's about to sell it for about $4,000. He's had that vehicle from 2013. Think about that. A lot of people, engine goes out, they sell the car. It's worthless now, so they take the loss. Meanwhile, man, let me come up with $2,500 and I still got no car payment for the next 6 years. We don't need to be so quick to go replace our cars. If we follow these strategies, we can actually, I love to see more people doing that. Just go fix the car. But don't go to the dealership to fix it when they tell you, hey, the engine's gonna cost $10,000. And what does the dealership say, y'all? When you have these major issues and the dealership tells you the transmission is $7,000 and a new engine is $10,000, what's their suggestion? What's their suggestion when they tell you that? Because they already know you're gonna be like, yo, what the heck? I can't pay all of that. What's their suggestion? Let's see, let me give y'all some time to type. I just want y'all to know, like, this is how the system works. So I know somebody, look, thank you, Jay June. Trade it in. Thank you. You see how we can, oh, look, NY Anderson, buy a new one. So what they do is, exactly, Victoria, they're going to suggest a new vehicle. So if we know, now watch this, as your vehicle is worthless, you don't have any opportunity to put it on a competitive market to see, well, how much would somebody pay for that? They've already assessed the value and they want to structure your deal, have you take that major loss for that engine. They're going to put the engine in for a lot less than that and they're going to resell it. And now they sold you another car. When you could have just literally went to a mechanic, got a rebuilt or got a used engine, put in that vehicle, cost you $2,500, maybe $2,000. And literally you're on the road for another couple years with no car payment, keeping money in your household versus now I'm in another $400 a month payment. Okay? This is what it's about. And if you're like Deshone, well, I don't want to keep a car that long. We talked about you earlier. You shouldn't be buying cars. Because the keepers on here who keep cars 8 years, 10 years, who has a car they've had in their driveway for more than 8 years? Type the number of years. I want to explain something we're going to help a couple people learn a lesson here about themselves, because they're going to be like, they're going to realize they're not keepers. Look, look, we need to show people, because some people think, oh, I keep my cars a long time. I keep them about 6-7 years. We need to show that that's not a long time in the world of cars and depreciation. So Michael, 15 years. Michael got a car that he's had for 15 years. Let's go. Type the number of years you've had it if it's more than 8. Look, Vancia, 11 years. Let's see. See, a lot of people don't keep their cars. Look, NY Anderson said, I drove my last car 14 years. All right, Connie, 15 years. She has a 2004 Chevrolet. Tony on Facebook, 2006. Now, watch this, y'all. If you ask me, Deshone, what's the way to get the most money out of a vehicle? It's to do what they're doing. Tanaya, 9 years. No, Renata, not less than 8. Not less than 8. We're trying to put you into a different cat. We're trying to help you see the category you should be in. Look, 9 years. Donna, 15 years. What's so important for y'all to see about these people is that they have beat depreciation. And that means whatever their vehicles are worth today, a year from now, they're going to be worth about the same. If their vehicles are worth $4,000 today, a year from now, they'll be able to still sell it for about $4,000. But the thing is, they're trying to get the most money out of it because the cost of replacement is expensive compared to what they're doing. No matter how much they got to pay to keep those vehicles on the road every year, a little couple $100, maintenance, whatever, it's nothing compared to going and getting a new car and bringing hundreds of dollars a month or thousands of dollars in the form of cash out of our household. And everyone's not going to do that. And that's okay. You should not be buying cars. You should be shopping for below market leases. Because again, there's 2 ways to save money. Do what the keepers do. You just saw all the keepers. We shouted out all of them. And the other way is to go in and not tie money up in the vehicles in the first place. When you look at somebody like Danielle, she's driving a $44,000 Audi, 2024 Audi A3. That vehicle is $800 a month to buy, no money down. $800 a month for 5 years, maybe $700 a month for 6 years. She's paying $550 a month. She didn't tie up the money in the first place. That's the name of the game with leasing. Bonita on her Telluride. This is also to show you it doesn't matter what the market does. The market could be up or down. We're going to pay less than everyone. This is Bonita. She got a Kia Telluride during the pandemic when everybody was paying ridiculous prices. That's why I show her 2022. Look at the date. She said, I'm driving my dream vehicle, $600 a month. People were leasing. And I know if somebody watching this and they're like, if you leased a Kia Telluride during the pandemic, you are not paying what she's paying with no money down. I know it. I know it. People were DMing me, Deshone, I want a Telluride. They want $900 a month for them. I know people weren't paying $600 a month, but she came in, used our bidding system, used the same strategies you're going to have access to in my digital book. She got $600 a month from home without being in a dealership. Her dream vehicle. This is how you win. You're either going to not tie up your money in vehicles, you're going to drive new vehicles that don't have problems because they're always under warranty and you're paying cents on the dollar compared to people purchasing, or you're going to be a keeper like Michael and like Donna and like the people who said, okay, I'm keeping my vehicle this long. That's why in my book, it's 7 steps. But the first step is to ask yourself how many years you're keeping your next vehicle. That is the first question I would ask you if you and I were shopping together. My first question to you would be, Michael, how many years you want to keep the next vehicle? 8 or more or less than that? If you said to me, Deshone, I'm going to keep it at least 8. All right, let's go for the purchase. New or used, depending on budget, but we're purchasing. We need to find a below market purchase. If you said, Deshone, I'm 6 years max. I can't see myself keeping a car more than 6 years. All right, we're going to shop for a below market lease. Because the money you're going to spend in a below market lease, when you get these below market lease deals, not commercial leases, not what you see on advertisements. Those are ridiculous prices. We don't pay those prices. None of these people that you see, Greg, Charles on his Palisade, none of these are advertisements. They're thousands less. But when you're putting money in the cars and you're driving brand new cars, this is how it was for me when I was 22. This started for me at 22. I was working for Pontiac and I leased a brand new Pontiac G6. It was $256 a month. $256 a month. It was like a $21,000 vehicle. Same time, I had a friend of mine. She got a I don't want to say it because she might be watching this, and this is no shot at her. I didn't understand enough to teach her back then because I was new in the business. She went and she bought, let's call it a Honda Civic. Now my car was bigger because the G6 was a mid-sized vehicle. The Honda Civic is a compact vehicle, but she bought it. $20,000 vehicle, 22, whatever it was at the time, paying almost $500 a month. Like that's a $500 payment. That's what it is. So my young household, I got a newborn daughter. I got a new car I'm paying $256 a month for. Same time, it's got families around me there in their 20s, but they're paying $500 a month. This is what showed me, wait, something's going on. And I never stopped. I bought a used car at that time, but since I've had 4 Infiniti leases, I've had a Jeep Grand Cherokee lease, and people always think, gee, you must be paying ridiculous money. I see you get new cars every 3 years, but they don't. I'm driving $40,000 cars, $45,000 vehicles. I never paid over $400 a month. Not one of my lease payments was ever. I remember I got this Jeep Grand Cherokee, and it was a $35,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo, 2018. When I got my offers, the best offer was $330 a month. 12,000 miles per year. And that's what I was driving. If I was driving 15, I would have bumped it up to 15,000 miles per year. I got $330 a month. I went in there and I gave them $330 for that Jeep Grand Cherokee and I drove off. $35,000 vehicle. This is what I'm telling you guys. This is what is called deal structure. If your deal is not on the right foundation, if you buy, but you should have leased, you're overpaying by thousands and thousands of dollars. And you're going to have subpar vehicles with that run out of warranty, and you're going to have the same payment. You're going to have higher payments. I need you out of these two categories. I need you in one of these two categories. I'm either going to keep my vehicle long enough to beat depreciation, 8 years or more, or I'm shopping for a below market lease. I'm not going to be stuck in the middle no more, buying vehicles and then selling them while they still have a loan on them, negative equity and all of this stuff. This is paramount. Okay, the buying versus leasing thing. I need most of you to put this to bed today. And I think I'm one of the only people that goes into buying versus leasing by the numbers. It's not opinion based. It's not, oh, I think you should lease if you're, depending on the car here, it doesn't matter the car. Doesn't matter the car. You can see Teddy's, let's show Teddy's luxury. Teddy got a BMW. Doesn't matter. He wasn't going to keep it 10 years. Look, goes on a BMW 2024 i4 M50. It's a $73,000 vehicle, $856 a month. $856 a month. Look, he said the dealer's initial offer came in at $937 using the counter offer calculator. Using the counter offer calculator, he counted at $829, $856. If you just jumped on the broadcast, I showed you some of the calculators that I created that are in this book. In my book, there's a reason it's 5-star rated. There's a reason people that you can go read what your peers say about that book. Get your copy for 75% off. It's in my TikTok bio. Click that picture of me. Click the link. Same thing on Instagram. Go to my bio. Click the link, and you'll see a button that activates a 75% off book. And if you're on YouTube or Facebook, it's in the comments section. 30 minutes only. Get your book so you can have access to all of this. Unless you just have an incredible memory and you can remember everything we talked about over the stream, but none of you can. I know none of you can. That's why, I couldn't even do it. It's just too much. We're talking about used car strategies, new car strategies, lease strategies. You guys, you're not gonna remember all of that. But anyway, let's go. All right, I think we got time for a few more. Go ahead, Dolan, keep it rolling. Make sure you guys screenshot the support page. As soon as you pay for your book, the book is on the thank you page. Remember that. I don't want you, I send you the book 2 ways. As soon as you pay, it says access your link below, open it. You can click it and save it right to your phone or computer right then and there. If you do not save it right then and there, make sure you screenshot the support page or use the support email that's scrolling through the screen. This is not for questions. Do not send me general car questions here. I don't answer questions by email. That is strictly for those of you who have your book and you're like, or you paid for the book and you're like, okay, where is it? It's usually because the email was wrong. That's okay. Hit that support email so that my team could send you the link out so that you can have your book today and start digging into it and using it. Even if you're not shopping right now, you can still map a plan out. Go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next question up. All right, this is Victoria from TikTok. Any tips for how I can get the highest trade-in value for my existing vehicle? Of course, bids. Bids. First of all, you just said a curse word. You may not know, but we don't use that T word here because you're never going to get anything. You're not going to get a max value for anything trading. We are fortunate that we have the opportunity to get bids from cash buyers in the market. And I'm not talking about cash buyers like Facebook Marketplace where a person, it's one of your neighbors from your town coming to look at your car. I'm talking about institutional cash buyers. People who cut a check instantly and, they do an inspection. That Jeep Grand Cherokee I sold to CarMax, they were the highest bidder 3 years ago during the pandemic. I'm not going to tell you what I made because those values don't exist anymore. So it just doesn't even make sense. But, those of you who were watching my videos earlier 3 years ago or using my tips, you guys cashed out and made ridiculous money. When corporations were trying to make money on people, we made money too. But CarMax won the bid. I went down there. They did an inspection on the vehicle. They came back. Accounting department came, cut me a check. I walked away with a check. That's it. You don't want to trade. You want to sell. You want to break your not even break your transactions. I need you, Victoria, to realize there are three transactions in a car deal. Who you're going to sell your car to, That's one. Who you're going to buy your car from, that's another. Who you're going to get your loan from, that's the third one. Now, you're not always cash buyers. Deshone, I pay cash. Then you don't need that. Deshone, I don't have a vehicle to replace. Then you don't need that. But how do we make sure we get the highest value or the biggest discounts? Bids. Each one, we make the market bid. So what you should do right now, Victoria, this is step 2 in my book. After we decide whether we're going to buy or lease our next vehicle, that's step 1. Then we move to what is called the equity assessment. We need to find out, do we have equity or negative equity? Equity assessment. We call our bank. If we have a loan, we find out what our payoff is. Then we're going to go to carmax.com. I'm going to give you the 6 companies. This is the equity assessment process. We do this for leases too. I don't know if we have time to go into that, but I'm sure there's people on here who didn't know you could sell a lease. Type a question mark if you didn't know. Deshone, what do you mean selling leases? I never heard of that before. Type a question mark if you didn't know you could sell leases. We have an equity assessment process for that too. But what you would do is you go to CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. This takes 20 minutes. Auto Nation, Sell My Car, and Car Gurus, Sell My Car. Car Gurus, Auto Nation, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, Driveway, Carvana, CarMax. 6 offers in 20 minutes. That's bids. See, everything we do is a bid. That's how we have peace of mind. We don't negotiate. We make people negotiate with each other. There's 2 schools of thought. I want to remodel my kitchen. I want to remodel my whole kitchen. I go in and I have 5 people come out to give me a quote. One of them comes in and I start negotiating with them. Hey, you got to take less. Yeah, you got to take less. You got to take less. I don't know if it's a good price or not. But when I come in, the first person comes in, I say, hey, okay, great. Is this your best offer? I'm having a couple other people come by. Oh, okay. Okay, thanks a lot. Next offer? Oh, next offer? Oh, well, listen, look, I could beat that. Oh, I'll give you another 5,000 off. They're competing against each other. When someone knows you are shopping their competition, you're making them compete with each other. They're negotiating with each other, not with you. That's a bar. Type of exclamation point if you got that. When people know you're making them compete with their competition, they're negotiating with their competition, not with you. That's the power of bidding. That's why we got grandmothers and single mothers that can come in and do this. That's why we got people who can come in and do this. You know, how are people getting these prices? Not negotiating, because they're making people negotiate with each other to earn their business. They're making banks negotiate with each other to earn their business. It's a beautiful thing. Banks and dealerships depend on you not making them compete. They want to negotiate with you and try to make you imagine and make you think, well, that's the bottom. That's the bottom. And you think that's the bottom, but that's only their bottom. Their competition's bottom is different. Their competition's best interest rate is different. Their competition's best discount is different. And why is what we do so easy? Because we're right here in our houses. That's why our entire system, our company, my book, our mindset is called Cars from Home. Cars from Home. It encompasses everything we do. Cars from Home. So that's what you do, Victoria. First thing you do is you go to those 6 websites, get your 6 cash offers, and that's going to be higher than any dealer you would ever consider trading the car to. Guaranteed. And this also allows us to eliminate the fake emails we get. All of this stuff is computer generated. I know you guys get these emails. Hey, Deuce, great news. We need your 2016 Kia Optima. We have a customer looking for it. We'll pay you $2,000 over MSRP. Who's gotten those emails? We'll pay you $2,000 over Kelly's Blue Book. Who's gotten those emails? Deuce, the list is CarMax, Carvana, KBB Instant Cash Offer, Driveway, Auto Nation, and Car Gurus. Car Gurus. That's step 2 in my book, the equity assessment process. This is stuff we do before we start shopping. Decide whether we buy or lease is step 1. That's going to put our deal on the right foundation. Step 2 is the equity assessment. Everything we do is a path. It's a clear, easy path. Okay, so yeah, I forgot the question that I just asked, but let's go. I could already tell. See, I could tell when I'm winding down because y'all could tell stuff will start blurring to me. That's why I'm like, see, and if that happens to me, I know it happens to you. Like that's why I'm like, listen, grab your copy of Cars from Home. It's a digital book. You'll have it in your inbox in minutes. It has it's continued updates. I probably updated that book 5 times since we originally launched it. Added calculators to it. Those weren't in it originally. I've added the calculators. I'm committed to making stuff better without being like imagine this. Oh, well, you bought volume 1 of Cars from Home, but I just put a new tool in, guys. Now you're going to get volume 2. And now every time a website changes, you got to get volume 2 and volume 3. And 5 years from now, you're getting volume 9 each time. It's like, no, literally one-time cost. And I can't tell you if that'll be around forever. I can't tell you that. I can't tell you 3 years from now, I'm going to be giving free updates of the book. I don't know. But I know today, that's what it is. Everyone who gets their book, you get free updates as I update the book. Because there's value in that. There's value. I could send an email out to people every 3 years and ask them, hey, did you enjoy the book? They're going to say, hey, yeah. Well, here's the thing. My new version is this. There's value in that. It could just be $24. They're already a believer. Someone who used the book's already a believer. So they'd be like, yo, the new version, oh, I'm about to shop again. $24. I'll pay it again. It's the best money I ever spent. But for now, I'm not doing that. Those of you who have the book, you will get free updates, and we'll keep you on the list to make sure you always get free updates of the book. So your link for 75% off is in the YouTube comments. It's only good for 30 minutes. It's in the Facebook comments, and it's in my Instagram and TikTok bios. Click those links in my bio. Click the button that says 75% off my new book. Get there before the $97, before it goes back up to $97. And make sure you save the support email, guys. Screenshot the support email. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. If that book is not in your inbox in 5 minutes, I want you to email my support team. Make sure you check your spam. And I also want you to, as soon as you purchase, you'll see, I say, hey, access your book below. So there's a link where you can click, open it up, get your book immediately if you want to download it, but I also email you a copy. But make sure you save the support email just in case. And again, that email is not for questions. Okay, it's not for car shopping questions, nothing like that. That's only to make sure you get your book. Okay, so great. Listen, great job. We've been on here about an hour and 20 minutes. Great questions. You guys know I like to go into detail in these questions. I would love to be able to get through 100 questions in an hour and a half, but that's just not the way it works. We're not talking about buying, $100 items here. If we were talking about house buying, we'd have to go into detail. These are major items. This is the most expensive item y'all are going to buy behind your house. Think about that. And think about how many people are there to protect you when you buy a house. Think about how many people have licenses. See how that question got asked earlier? Can they sue if it was a house and they did you wrong? Sure. You can go before the real estate commission. People can lose their license. People can lose their ability to practice real estate. If they did something unethical, you can bring them before a court and a judge, and you can have recourse. You can get, justice. Cars, you got nobody. No one's licensed. The person who's helping you buy your car that you're sitting there negotiating with, which I want you to stop, they might have just got that job. And they didn't get that job because they're a finance expert and they're someone who understands how to help you, because they're not going to ever make you compete against. They're never going to put you in a position where you can make them compete. They'll say, hey, let's negotiate. But here's the thing. That person just got a job because, you know how many people walked in a dealership with a good smile and a good personality? 2 weeks later, they're selling cars. These are the people that are helping you. They're not licensed. They didn't go through school. They didn't go through ethics training. They didn't go through any of this stuff that realtors and brokers have to go through to help you buy houses. So when you get your car, it is on you. That's why you want me working with you. You want my blueprint. You're not by yourself. You're watching my videos. Once you get my book, you can stop watching my social media videos. I don't want you watching my social media videos if you have my book. It's just going to confuse you, because what my social media videos do is warn you what not to do. That's what my social media videos do. Don't do this. The worst thing you could do is this. The worst thing you could do is this. Don't do this. My book is teaching you what to do. It's telling you what to do. It's not an education book. It's a do this first. Step 1, do this, do this, do this. Step 7, hey, congratulations. We're taking delivery. We're not focused on that. So once you get my book, you don't have to watch my social media videos ever again. And I want to say that because a lot of people will get the book and still be watching them and trying to piece it together. You got my blueprint. You don't need those videos anymore. Okay? So always a pleasure, y'all. God bless you. To those of you who have your book, make sure you email me when you pick up your cars, send me all the details. Deshone, check this out. This is what I got. This is what I paid, so that we can bring you guys into the stream and continue to tell everybody about you. So about the results. All right. God bless y'all. I will see y'all on the next stream. Always a pleasure. All right, hang on. Welcome to Car Shopping Questions and Answers. We are going to be going deep on all your car shopping questions. No question is off limits. And if you don't know me, my name is Deshone the Auto Advisor. We're already up and running on TikTok. We got our first couple questions about to come in, but I need to get back on Facebook because we have to start Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at the same time, or it's not going to work. So let me it's all good. Stay right there. And I want you guys to start typing your questions. We'll be here for a powerful hour, and I'm just going to go through as many questions as I can in an hour. And